So let's talk about computers and how to use them more quickly and how to just be more effective on the computer. And it's actually really simple. What you have to do is like your computer. If you don't like your computer or love your computer, then how are you going to be able to use it effectively every day? It's like being in a broken relationship. It's not loving and good, or having a client that you despise. It's just a negative thing. So the kind of the first step for using a computer effectively is kind of getting over whatever emotional problems you might have with computing. And a lot of people have been traumatized by computers, flat out. They've had some really horrible experiences where they were frustrated massively, possibly embarrassed, ridiculed, all these sort of things, and now computers are bad. So that's one of the first things that you need to deal with. So start off by hugging your computer. I'm actually doing this on my iPad, which is my primary computer these days, or at least a strong second, or it's actually definitely second. But that's really important. Is to get just love your computer, appreciate that millions of people have worked over the last, I guess since the 50s really, on these machines, generation after generation, iteration after iteration, to make these what used to be something the size of a gymnasium down to something that you can carry in your hand, your cell phone. It's a very powerful small computer. So that is what has gone into that machine. That much love, that much inspiration, that much hard work has gone into making this thing. So hating it is kind of silly. What you need to do is just get used to it. That it's a machine. It was designed to help you do almost anything when it comes to data. And a lot of times it's been expanded to go beyond just sending and receiving information and storing it and manipulating it. It does a lot. So appreciate the fact that I'm one of the people that helps with these machines. I design the software that runs on them, or one of among millions and millions of people that designs the software that runs on them. And we've worked really hard to make these machines useful for you, to make it beneficial for you. So specifically what I do is I make them more efficient at events and things, so that when people go to register, it takes just a few moments, the absolute minimum of time that I could design software so that the person, if they've been to this site before, just enters their email address, a password, selects the options for their event, and then the next thing that happens is that they they enter their credit card information if it's required. If it's not, they're done. It's just really simple. And everybody else who's designed software, that's been their intention too, is to make it as simple as possible for you, hopefully, or to make it enjoyable. They make video games and other systems that provide pleasure to you in some shape or form. And so yeah, get over the whole "I hate my computer" thing. Don't be afraid of it. Experiment with it. It's got a lot of room for failure. When I build software, I build it knowing that people are going to enter things sometimes that it was a mistake. They just typing too quickly, and so they want to come back a month later and change it. Sure, no problem. We let them do that. We let them go inside there and change it a month later. And most other programmers have done the same thing these days. So if you made a mistake, you can come fix it later in most instances, except when sending email. That's one of the things that's fairly permanent. There's also a few other odds and ends places where you can't change it after the fact, but in most instances these days, you can go back and remove things and change things even after you've done it. So don't be afraid about making mistakes. You are going to make them, or you will. In most instances, most people do make them. And so now I'm going to talk about what you can do as a computer user. So now you're over it. You love your computer. It's a wonderful thing. Love your computer. You help me make money. You connect me with friends and family. You entertain me with video games, and I'm able to see my kids when I'm away and traveling, and all these cool things that happens. And my family that's far away from me, we can share videos or video conversations, as well as with my business associates, we can talk and we don't have to fly across the United States every time we want to talk in person. Powerful technology, it is your friend. We, the computer people out here, have worked really hard to make it as easy as possible, so no longer be afraid. Your fear is gone. Voila. Okay. Now, let's get into a little bit of the nitty-gritty stuff of how to use your computer just more quickly. One of the quickest ways to do that is to learn your keyboard. So these little keyboards, right, I've seen them before a few times. They do more than just let you type words. They actually let you control the computer also. So, and when you're using the keyboard in that way, it's called hotkeys. And so these hotkeys are how you can close down programs, close windows, do things like jump to the end of the line. Let's say, for instance, you're editing something and you want to jump to the very end of it or the very beginning of it, and your cursor's at the other end. Normally, most people would take their mouse and drive it over there or tap on the screen to get the cursor over there. But instead, you can actually use hotkeys to get there. Or if you wanted just to control a window, you could, sorry, I lost my point. You can jump to the end of the line, jump to the beginning of the line. You can close, open, change windows, change screens, and a whole bunch of other things. And I think now I'm going to stop you from having to look at me, and I'm going to start doing the X part where I will show you the keys. On this screenshot, I have pushed the command button and pushed the spacebar button, and the spotlight automatically opens up. You can start typing. Then you can use your arrow keys to navigate up and down the list of files, programs, and other things like messages that have been found by the Spotlight tool. Use it rather than digging around on your own.